Talk about Caitlin Clark, because she's the breakout star of the WNBA right now.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, she's talking to me.
Bowling!
Did we get a word?
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
Of the Celebrity Jump. Have you ever been invited to something?
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all.
Trust you to buy penny candy. If you think we about to let you buy properties, we care less. You pick your vote, choose what you want. This is again. The Village of Dalton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties.
Ladies, did we get a word?
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Oh, snap. Bowling!
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a, I can't do it.
Can't do it.
We'll do it live.
We will.
We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
And thing sucks.
It does. It does. It does suck. I tell you what does not suck. What does not suck, fine people, is that we made it. Made it. Made it. It's Friday. Made it to the end of the school year. Oh, that's to the 2024 graduates, fine parents of 2024 graduates. You put in the work. You changed those diapers. You went to pre-K, elementary, middle school. You got them to high school, fam. And now you are seeing that young man, that young woman walk across that aisle and begin their lives. I know it's great. Same thing for college graduates. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. So happy for those that are experiencing that right now. I have a up and coming senior. So the time just goes by, man. Goes by. 1 minute you at NICU, and the next minute you worrying about oh my God, this is the year to be ordering graduation invitations and cap and gown and all of that stuff. And the thing is, the worry time, it's not over. You're like, Lord, I get them through high school, not over. Now you're worrying about what's going to happen when you can't see them anymore. But at least I got a year for that. But again, valued viewers, party people, night owls, you. Thank you for being here. Very excited, very excited. What's up, Michael? How you doing tonight? Thank you for stopping by, friend. Let me know where you are viewing from. Nice to see Shara Joel as usual. I always so happy to see you, Shara. Always so happy. I'm actually, if you happen to come into this stream from seeing the thumbnail earlier, then you do know that it's some good old Tiffany Henyard, the city girl mayor, the self-proclaimed super mayor story coming on later. Ohio in the house, coming on later. But I really do hope that I don't run a lot of people off before I get to the Henyard story, because I've got a couple of articles and clips that typically, hey man, I'm not really dishing dirt, man. This is all things that have been in the circulation for the last week or so, and they're typically things that I don't speak on. Typically because they're polarizing, and I typically have sometimes a take that's not a popular take, and I'm a small channel and you want everybody to like you, but it's the independent male, and sometimes I am not going to say things that you're going to like, and have a feeling that my take on some of these initial articles may be one of those times. So Mike, Shara, buckle up, and hope you stay in for the ride. So I'm gonna give you the rundown right quick, what we're gonna go through with some of the articles. So like I said, the reason these are articles or clips that I usually don't speak on is because they either have something to do with race, or they have something to do with behavior within the community that I just kept seeing, and I either have questions about or I have to comment, and I really need to know what you guys' take is on some of it. Mike in the house, man. Mike is in the house. Appreciate you, Mike, man. Appreciate you being here. So first, I'm going to get into a little bit of Caitlin Clark. Perhaps you've heard of her. You kind of can't get away from her. And really, ever since March Madness tournament time is Caitlin, records, Caitlin, draft, Caitlin. Now the beginning of the WNBA season, Caitlin. And there's been a lot of comments and innuendo, and I'm going to be frank, within the community that's somewhat disturbing. So I'm going to go over that. And then I'm going to go over to what Shara may be familiar with, which is my what the cluck segment, because we're a small channel. We try to keep it clean around here. And that what the cluck segment is going to have about 3 different parts to it that we're going to touch on. And one of them happens to be all of the alphabets, the scene with the alphabets earlier this week, AOC, MTG, and like 5 Bs, bleach blonde, black bad built, butch body, that stuff, all of the alphabets. So we're going to talk about that for a second. And then we're going to get over to the train wreck of an interview with Cameron and Abby Phillips of CNN. And we're going to touch on that. And then we're going to get over to the main event of City Girl Mayor Tiffany Henyard in yet another scam. This one happens to be another property scam. And the reason I'm going to say another property scam, because I'm going to touch back on another scam she did with properties. And it's so funny because for a person to be a mayor of a small town that's filled with minorities, that has a median income of about $24,000, she really does seem to take advantage of the less fortunate with her scams quite often. So anyway, we are going to jump over to the first story, which is Miss Caitlin Clark. So we're gonna actually check out a clip from The View, and then we're gonna speak on that for a few minutes. So let's check it out right quick. Big ooh. Probably gotta hit this button to share a clip. Here we go. What we got, lady?
Caitlin Clark, because she's the breakout star of the WNBA right now with the highest salary in league history. Yeah. And a $28 million endorsement deal from Nike. And in a new article in the LA Times about her success, sports journalist Jamel Hill.
That is a hard one, though.
It's
every time I say her name, it's a hard.
My lips just failed.
Yeah, they failed you.
I felt them start and then, It was like real. So let me try it again. Jamel Hill compares Clark to Steph Curry for being relatable to fans, but claims the fact that she's a straight white woman plays a big role in the hype around her is not the numbers that she puts on the scoreboard. So I want to point something out. She is the NCAA's all-time leading scorer of men and women. In February, she broke.
And I paused this right quick just to put Shara's comment on the screen. I am going somewhere. I am where Shara just said, does anyone really care about the WNBA though? And that's a valid question, especially pre-Caitlin Clark. Pre-Caitlin Clark. Very valid question. Very valid question. That's where I'm going with this.
The woman's record. In March, she broke Pistol Pete Maravich's 3,667 point record. She's had more 30-point games than anyone in the past 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay. She holds a single season 3-point record for women. She's the Big Ten's all-time leader in assists. Now, listen, when people say stuff like that, that's like people saying, oh, you only got into this Ivy League college because you're black, or you only got this because of this. This girl earned this. I'm sorry.
Now, as much as we don't like hearing what Whoopi just said, that's exactly what's happening in reverse to Miss Clark right now. And I might add, I feel like she has been as gracious and as humanly possible, acknowledging people that came before her, trying to be a good a teammate, actually, and besides, the competitiveness on the court, reaching out and actually being a good colleague, if you will, to opposing team players. So I kind of don't understand why this lady is getting so much hate. I don't. And let's be specific. Why she's getting so much hate within the community? Why?
There are great players, but nobody else has done this. So I'm not mad that they gave her basketball, but I will suggest to Wilson that one of the things they might want to do, Wilson is the people who make the basketball. Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Hank.
We could suggest that in, what is the word? To honor the women who play in the WNBA. Maybe they should do a series of balls.
Yeah. I like that.
And please, do not make them pink, okay? They don't need to be pink. Just make them regular basketballs, because there are some extraordinary players, and she is part of the reason that people are now paying attention. I'm telling you, I'm having the hardest time today.
You sound like me on a Monday.
Yeah. That people are paying attention to the WNBA.
Wow, lady.
Okay.
Yes.
Take this baton.
Yes. Do that.
No, I think what Jamel Hill was saying is important. We need to identify communities that have not gotten the spotlight. Paige Buckers from UConn gave an amazing SB speech about 2 years ago, giving her award essentially to the black women that preceded her, saying although they won 80% of the awards that year, they got less than half of the media coverage. All of those things can be true. I think unique simply with Caitlin Clark, she cannot be reduced to much beyond her statistics because a number is not bias. It just is what it is. But I think that she's also been good about addressing those who came before her. She knows that, like Maya Moore, her idol, came before her. She's been very reverent in saying, it was all these women that opened it up and built the sport, and she's taking it a little further. It also can't be forgotten that she came from Iowa, and I say that not just as a proud Iowan, but Caitlin Clark could have gone to a much better basketball program. She made a deliberate choice to build a program. A lot of times people talk about a GOAT being only if you have rings. Caitlin knew going into her choice at Iowa that she was going to be building a program under the tutelage of Coach Bluter, and she took pride in staying home for that. Iowa doesn't have professional teams. We don't get to follow much. So although everyone got on the Caitlin Clark train eventually, Iowa was so thirsty and hungry for a player they could follow and believe in, and you felt like you were a part of it. So that was the beginning of this gusto. LSU, UConn, all these amazing programs. It's like, we're back in national, cool. Yeah, we were there last year too. You know, like, so they didn't have quite the same oomph as this Iowa program had, and that's part of the reason Caitlin Clark has also been such a big deal.
Okay. So, you heard the Views tape. I can't believe I'm doing a reaction to a View clip. Wow. But I did like that piece. And you heard what sparked this off when Whoopi was referring to Jemele Hill's or I did what Whoopi did, article where she pretty much said that a lot of Caitlin Clark hype is because she's a straight white woman. All right. But then if that's the case, this is my question.
Are you such a fucking loser? You can't tell when you've won.
Are you and the rest of the WNBA that's complaining about this? Are you such losers that you don't know when you've won? And the reason I'm asking that is, let's say yes, she's getting overwhelming popularity because she's a straight white woman. People gravitate to things that they identify with. Okay? So instead of complaining about why the extra eyeballs are on your product, why not take advantage of the extra eyeballs that are on your product so that you can generate more fans, so you can generate more revenue, so you can keep people out of Russian prisons? Isn't that the point? You guys have been crying about not having equal revenue, not having equal airtime on TV, and we're not even going to get into the specifics about the demographics, okay? I did this before on the show. Men are 29% fans of the WNBA. Women are 11%. The product is for women. They're not the ones that's consuming it so much. But regardless of that, if this lady is bringing extra eyeballs to the product, you should embrace that instead of complaining about why they're there. Because the fact is, people do gravitate to things that they identify with. And if I'm wrong, maybe you guys might remember this from like 90s, the 96, 98 time period.
Earlier this week, Serena Williams said, it seems like it's everyone against us at times. And that's a burden to carry for these two. But now it's each of them against each other for the U.S. Open Championship. Serena Williams to serve first.
Never seen Tiger hit a shot in my life.
I do remember this.
So I said, I'm going to watch this shot. And when he hit it, I looked at my caddy and I just was like, holy. He's the best golfer in the world and he's 21 years old. And I think that's unbelievable.
He's the best golfer in the world and he's 21 years old and he thought that was unbelievable. Remember that? Remember that? Late 90s. Williams sisters hit the scene. More eyeballs on tennis, more eyeballs on women tennis. Who are the more eyeballs? It was us. It was people of color that weren't typically watching tennis. but we started watching tennis. Why? Because there was products on the court that we identified with. So what is wrong with Caitlin Clark bringing more eyeballs to the WNBA because there's a swath of the country that identifies with her? When we enjoy it, we like to make sure that everybody acknowledges the greatness of our athletes that break through a field or an area that they normally hadn't broken through in. We want to celebrate it, and we want the nation to celebrate it. So why can this young lady that has been nothing but gracious as far as we've seen, why can she not enjoy that same type of benefit? And why can the league not embrace that and capitalize on it? When Caitlin comes to your town, show us why we should have been paying attention to you the whole time. Beat her team. Show us y'all got game. We're watching. Capitalize on it. That's my 2 cents on that. And I gotta pop Shara's comment up right quick, because this comment came up because I was talking about the demographics as far as who was watching the WNBA and who doesn't. And even though the WNBA is a product that's put on, the court to inspire young girls, but is a product for women, and they don't watch it. And as Shara says, they would rather gawk over that dude. Wrong, lady. Brittany Griner. But most ladies, they'll take themselves on girl dates to an NBA game where they can sit there and look at dudes, but they're not going to do that for the WNBA. You know what I mean? So support the product. So I think we got more eyes on it. Embrace the more eyes and quit, making comments and worrying about why the more eyes are there. Capitalize. Now getting over to some more, oh my God. I got to put this up on the screen because this is a question, because it goes into the rest of this What the Club. I want to know from you good people, when is it okay to be an ass? Because these next 3 clips they're basically tied to that. And this got me on definitely. I'm trying to figure it out. So anyway, everybody has a threshold in which we say, in part, the quote unquote French is not that bad, but what we say, to hell with society. As society, we make rules of how we're going to operate and conduct ourselves. But then there's a threshold that if quote unquote something happens, then you ignore that agreed upon societal rule. I'm trying to figure out where this threshold is, because it seems to be all over the place. What we got here? All right. Okay. Shara's answer is when somebody doesn't take the hit under normal circumstances. So let's see if some of this applies in some of these stories. They may actually. Let me get rid of some of these windows. How did I get so many windows open already? Some of these windows. All right, let's close all of them. Oh, I gotta share. I gotta do a screen share because this first one starts with an article. Let's do the screen share from a Frontier airline flight. Make sure the screen shared properly. I don't have my Bluetooth keyboard and stuff here. I'm having a strain to read. So anyway, I think this lady ended up getting nicknamed Frontier Rosa Parks or something like that. And anyway, I think what happened is she got on the plane and she had an exit row seat. And I don't know if she was trying to be joking and be funny or whatever, but she said, you know what? I'm not going to paraphrase it. Let me just read the article right quick. All right. A Frontier Airlines passenger refused to comply with the exit row instructions from the cabin crew, forcing everyone on the flight to deboard. In a viral TikTok posted May 9th, traveler Tia at Tia Travel, at Travel with Tia 23, shared with viewers how an unidentified woman in glasses argued with airline employees. Meanwhile, her fellow passengers pleaded with her to deboard the plane for all their sakes. This lady right here, when she got on the plane and acknowledged the exit row, she said, "Oh, I'm not going to save anybody. If something happens, I'm going to save myself," Tia explained. That was her attitude throughout the seating process. And I already knew something was about to pop off when she had that attitude. All right. All right. So that's the summary. Lady has an exit row seat. Looks like maybe she was joking about the whole, if I'm gonna save myself, but I don't think the attendants took it as such. And Roz, let's go see what happened. Because of course, she gonna get kicked off.
Yeah, she talking to me. What is the problem? Because she don't want to tell us her name.
Like, exactly.
Okay, well, you want to tell me to cut my music down so I can problem? What's the problem? We ain't got no problem with that. We understand we got to help people get off the plane and help Betty White if something happens. What's the problem? We agree. You wasting your breath. They gonna take this plane off the ground. That's my damn face. Did you ask her to agree? You ain't doing your job. No nonsense going on. You better get out of my face is what you need to do.
Turn her up a little bit. That's her second Betty.
You ain't got to worry about two damn things.
I just turned it up. That was her second Betty. Now, why is she doing that? Now, my thing is, if somebody equally goes Lakeisha or LaShonda, then would she be upset? Would I be upset? Would anybody else be upset? Why is Betty okay?
Yeah. Girl. Relate? No. That lady came and asked us, we got witnesses, we all agreed. Didn't nobody tell the flight attendant?
We all got witnesses. Where are they?
Agreed. Everybody can witness that.
Okay, this is the second time she said something about everybody can witness. Nobody says anything. I think at some point, somebody may say something about a flight attendant having an attitude, but nobody ever speaks up about this lady acknowledging that she'll comply with the exit row stuff. She doesn't start saying that until they ask her to move. Then she doesn't want to move, and then they're going to tell her to get off the plane.
And my grandson is getting off out of school, and his mama took a flight to Mexico.
And you weren't thinking about that when you was joking about if anything happened, I'm going to save myself. Why'd you do that if you had a grandson to go pick up later?
And I'm not getting
Ladies and gentlemen, for the couple passengers that we're asking to please be removed.
My grandson is 4 years old, and he's getting
Karen's side. Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be underway here shortly. We got to take care of this issue.
We got to take care of this. Yo.
Accident, so sorry.
Please, I'm gonna ask you one more time.
I'll ask you one more again.
Well, I'm calling my attorney because
Yeah, he gonna come right down to the airport on the terminal, tarmac. Handle the situation.
But we'll talk about it outside.
Yeah, we'll talk about it outside.
my grandson is in Texas getting out of school.
That's fine. I understand everything, but we'll have to step outside the aircraft and talk about it.
Yup. Exit row. Now I'm gonna need you to exit. Yeah, call Matlock. He's coming right down. Not a pilot here. Pilot, like, get gone. Should have been compliant. And I'm gonna let them finish in a second, but this is again what's bringing me to the original question. When is it okay to be an ass? Because right now, she's being an ass. She's holding up everybody on the plane because all she had to do was move seats at the beginning. That's all she had to do was move seats. Didn't want to do that. Now she's got the whole flight held up. No, Tiff lawyer is super busy. He putting in an OT right now. He put it in an OT. Well, I appreciate you being here, Mike. You and Shara holding me down. See, look, that's the third time she asked somebody to co-sign. Did I disagree with her? Nobody's gonna say anything.
Can I disagree to her?
Your girl trying to be a community ambassador and explain you need to get off the plane. No, he isn't. Oh, you know what? You're right, Mike, because one of them quit on her. Yep, because they weren't getting paid. You're right. Hi, lady. Yep. Hey, yo, Mike, she was down at the check cashing place looking for, matter of fact, she was looking for a loan at the pawn shop at this point. Somebody please she done looked around this plane, and the sad part about it is you was putting on for the people, most likely, when you was making a little joke about if something go down, I ain't gonna save anybody, I'm gonna save myself. And now these people heard you say it, apparently they did. Because if you didn't, they would have said something. Nobody is co-signing that loan, Mike. Nobody. Well, oh my God, I'm not even gonna lie. I would have blown a gasket being on this damn flight. And she is literally, yeah, as you see, she keeps this up. They have to get off the plane. They all had to get off the plane. When is it justified? When is it okay to be an ass? Just wondering, because we all seem to have different levels of when it's okay to be an ass and mess up everybody else's day. Speaking of being an ass, let's see when else it was okay to be an ass recently. This is a good one. Because these are people that aren't supposed to be asses. They're supposed to be professionals. Matter of fact, they're supposed to be running the joint.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you please regain order of your committee?
Order.
Please. There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. It's not a point of order.
Mr. I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl, I don't think
we are going to move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the minority.
It's self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
You
don't have enough intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike the. I move to strike the lady's word.
I move to strike
the lady's word.
Jesus.
Oh, snap.
Here, point of order.
Who's?
It's me.
Miss Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
I'm
parliament.
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those
I had no idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
you just voted to do it.
Okay, and now Miss Crockett has completely taken the bait, and I'm getting ready to show my ass.
First, so you don't
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Miss Crockett.
I can't hear you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
calm
me
down.
To be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
out
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, Chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, good old MTG.
Oh, snap.
She came out with the first blow with the whole eyelash thing. Was she trying to be cute? Yes. AOC. Oh, not today. Oh, baby girl. Oh, girl, baby girl. Bleach bun, blonde, bad built butch body. So everybody took turns being jackasses in Congress, on the stage for everyone to see. I loved Social of Truth's response when she basically said everybody involved at like a bunch of either elementary or high school kids, children, to paraphrase. Because the thing that's been disturbing to me about watching the reactions to this whole episode, it's been partisan AF. That's why I appreciated Social of Truth's take, because she is a conservative woman and she called it out as being sophomore behavior down the board on both sides. She did. What I've seen by most people is they ignore what their person did, and then they just jump on what the other side did. So, been seeing a lot of fist pumping, a lot of celebrations about the 5 Bs, about the bleach blonde, bad built butch body. And I'm trying to figure out why the Democrats celebrating that so much. And when I say celebrating, I'm talking about t-shirts, bumper stickers. And I saw an article earlier today, probably because I was searching it too much, that they actually trademarked it. They're trying to trademark the 5 Bs. They're proud of it. Okay. My only take about this, besides everybody being asses, my thing about it is my brothers and sisters on the left, they love to point out hypocrisy on the right. Particularly, they love to highlight the Law and Order party tends to ignore law and order when it comes to 45 or the January 16. We get it. We got it. Hypocrisy. Well, this whole bleach blonde, bad built butch body is Democratic hypocrisy to anybody that's paying attention and keeping score, because the party of pro women and pro rainbow, I don't know all the letters all the time because they keep adding them, so I'm just going to say rainbow. There is a conflict there. There's some messaging that is not adding up, that is seeming hypocritical. And what do I mean by that? What's butch? Butch is a term that is referring to a lesbian woman, a stud, if you will. So what was Miss Crockett implying or trying to project by putting butch body? She could have used anything in front of that body with a B. She could have used bogus. She could have used anything, but she chose butch on purpose to insinuate that Miss Greene either looked like a man or transsexual. That's what she was trying to imply. And that's what she got her giggles with. And that's what they want to put on t-shirts and bumper stickers. Well, that's fine if we're at a comedy club. But the problem is the Democratic Party says that they value the rainbow community. They value that coalition so they can have those votes, just like they value the women so they can have those votes. But something is not adding up. So the women of the party are always marching strong for rainbow rights and rainbow activism when the cameras are on and when they're benefiting from it. If they're friends with particularly gay men in the community and they get to go out with them and have things provided for them without being romantically involved with them. They get to have protection. They get to go on vacations. Sometimes these individuals have professions that women end up being able to benefit from. They're in fashion. They're in hairstylists, things of that nature. They reap all of these benefits from the community, and that community supports all of their causes, and that community is overwhelmingly Democratic. But then as soon as some of these women get mad at straight people, they call them a rainbow term, not an endearment. It's meant to be derogatory. So there is hypocrisy in that messaging. Either you value the rainbow community or you don't. And the weird part is, I thought they just did it with men. When they got mad at a man, then they call him a derogatory rainbow term. Nope, we do it with women too. We'll call you butch and we'll put it on a t-shirt. Just my thoughts on that. I just didn't, I can't figure out why the Democratic Party is celebrating that. Hypocrisy. Let's see what we got here. I'm missing comments because I'm on a rant. I told you I'm losing subscribers today. I am done with you. We cannot, Shara, we cannot go to the Aaron Burr days. We cannot go back to the Aaron Burr days, all right? We can't have our politicians walk outside the Capitol, go back to back, take their 10 paces and turn around and draw. Make sure they got their white gloves. I do believe they did that at the end of John Wick 4, though. That was hot. Yeah. See to throw old shade back. Mike, you in here too, boy. You on here. Let's see, April. Oh, That's what I was. Standard of truth. Yep. Standard of truth. Love it. Let's see. Thanks, Shara. That was the purpose of do they actual? I mean, and again, I know both parties do some pandering or whatever for votes, but I just can't believe that they were so egregious with this one and celebrating it because they got a little snappy comeback with some alliteration. But did you pay attention to the butch part? Like, bro, y'all should not be highlighting that. Anywho, but again, I guess it was okay at that time to be an ass because that's what everybody was doing. All right, party people, let's move on to the next clip in which it looks like it was okay to be an ass. I know I'm gonna lose some on this one because it's not that I'm disagreeing with with a couple of my favorite content creators. It's just I'm trying to understand the angle a little bit. So maybe you guys, Shara and Mike, maybe y'all can help me understand. And to those of you that just came in, welcome.
Been invited to something only to find out that what you were invited to
Why are you still
had
up?
nothing to do with you. I'm gonna tell you like what I mean. I was invited to an interview one day, and the person didn't even ask me anything about what I was about, what I was trying to do. It was a podcast, and it was recently, like a year ago. I was real busy. I made time for these particular people. I was thoroughly disappointed. It wasted my time. I told a similar friend, I will never work with those guys ever again. Never. Okay? Like, didn't even inform me what the topics were going to be. I was trying to help these guys out. Never. That's why I have never appeared on any other podcast ever since. If you don't come to my podcast, which is the Kingana podcast, I will not come to yours.
Ginger.
Never. You had to pay me a lot of money for me to come. Anyways, this is the same thing that happened with Cameron. Cameron, who has the Come and Talk to Me brand, It Is What It Is show, was invited to CNN. And obviously Cameron is a celebrity. Cameron was in the New York rap scene, although under the, kind of the Harlem World umbrella with Joel Santana, Jim Jones, and guys like that. CNN brought him on to talk about something different other than his own accomplishments, which led to this interaction.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, is there something known in the industry about how Diddy treated his artists?
I'm going to get some cheeks after this horsepower joint. I'm just going off what Mace said. Mace took me to Biggie. I don't really know Puffers like Mace know Puff. So I appreciate what Mace said, and of course, that's my brother, so if he felt that way, then he felt that way. I can't really tell you how Puff moves or anything like that. Mace may know better than me because he was signed to Puff, I wasn't. But my show does come on at 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube. It's called It Is What It Is. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. And I might get some more information out of Mace from there, but for me to tell you how Puff acting and all that, I don't know. I never was signed to him.
Yeah. What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy doing all this? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that I was like,
you didn't?
Yo, who booked me for this joint?
All right.
I'll be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
Thanks.
Come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching Newsnight. Laura Coates Live starts right now.
So, guys, you saw that interaction. People thought he was ghetto for how he handled it. He was not professional in how he handled it. But I want to say something. Go. Okay? That's what I want to tell him. First of all, these individuals, and I'm talking about CNN, you brought this guy on, not letting him know what he would be talking about, to talk about Diddy. Do you think this man has worked his whole life to talk about Diddy, then to make a viral clip off of him talking down on Diddy?
All right. So that's O'Shea's take. And I'm going to go on another take before I say anything about this. And then we're going to move on to Ms. Henyard's latest scheme.
What about the industry in general? I mean, so many people have pointed out that Diddy couldn't get away with this stuff if there weren't a lot of people protecting him. Do you think that's the case?
Who the talent agent for this joint? Like, you think I'll be sitting around watching what Diddy do and all that? I didn't know this was a Diddy joint that was inviting me to. Yo, who booked me for this joint?
All right.
Wow, and I don't be sitting around watching Diddy and all that. Yeah,
Thanks.
Come on, man.
Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your time tonight.
Rapper Cameron went viral after his interview on CNN. Apparently, Cameron didn't realize he wasn't booked to talk about himself, his products, or his popular podcast with fellow rapper Mace. Instead, he was booked to talk about Diddy and Cassie. And by the time he realized producers wanted nothing to do with him, they only wanted him to be a part of their Diddy programming, Cam was so annoyed by it all. And that's how we got this moment here.
Okay. This is where I'm confused. I'm going to say, let me cue some Lil Wayne since Tiffany Henyard is coming up next. Always got to pop that Wheezy Wee when Henyard's in the building. But this is where I'm confused. I'm going to go with O'Shea and say CNN, and I'm going to preface this by saying, I get it. A lot of us don't like CNN. And that's where I'm going with this. Is it because we don't like CNN, it was okay for Cameron to be a complete jackass on national television in front of thousands of people? That was okay? And I'm wondering if it was okay. And again, I'm giving the benefit that CNN, a national news network, when they booked him, they didn't tell him why they were booking him. I'm going to go with that argument. They didn't tell him why they were booking him. They just said, hey, Cameron, out of the blue, come be on our show. Mystery why. Okay? We're going to go with that. And he thought that this national news network that doesn't specialize in music, doesn't specialize in hip hop, they specialize in news. But let's say he assumed that they wanted to talk about him and his podcast. And then it didn't happen. And they asked him about the actual story du jour, story de week, story de year, because it's going to keep going with trials and stuff. And that gave him, when that was the line of questioning, instead of asking him about his podcast, he had to write. To be a jackass and represent the community like that. And so here's my thing. First of all, I don't buy that CNN didn't tell him what the interview was about. When you go back to the part where he's, hey, yo, man, who booked this joint? Who's he talking to? He's talking to somebody that booked the joint, somebody that got the details as to what the interview was about. The somebody that he probably didn't pay attention to, but I think he did pay attention to it. I think he knew exactly what the interview was about, and he planned that whole thing to go viral for his particular demographic in his podcast. He showed up in his Gilligan hat and his Lokes on. He had no intention of being engaging. And then it shouts out to PBL. I love PBL and I love O'Shea, but PBL says it was because he kept getting the Diddy questioning why he reacted that way. Well, check this out. He didn't go anywhere to go get that shot of whatever drink stuff he was promoting, where he like, I'm gonna go get some cheeks after this on the network news. No, he had all that stuff sitting there already. Meaning he intended to do that. But again, being devil's advocate, let's say I don't think he intended on doing any of that. Let's say CNN unprofessionally booked him and didn't tell him why. That still gave him the right to go embarrass everybody like that. That's my only question. And then the other thing is, anybody that's seen stuff like this knows that typically they give you some time at the end of whatever it is they ask you about to plug whatever it is you're doing. We never got to that because he decided to be an ass first. And it looks like it was justified. And I'm the only one that's an idiot because nobody else is saying anything about it. Everybody else is like, yeah, man, they didn't ask him about his podcast. They didn't ask him. All they did was ask him about Diddy. You know how many people they brought on to ask about Epstein? And they were professionals in all kinds of sectors, and the interviewer didn't hardly ask them anything about that stuff. They asked them about what they knew about Epstein parties. It happens. Anywho, let's go on to this Henyard's latest property scam, which was brought to me anyway, by Hannibal. Good old Hannibal is hungry. I got to jump over to his page in a little bit and send him a super chat. Because he does really good coverage on Miss Henyard, and he was highlighting some dirt that she was doing to this lady that's really trying to help people in the community up there. So let's check this out right quick. Miss Henyard, Super Mayor in the building. Let's go.
Trust you to buy penny candy. If you think we about to let you buy properties, I could care less. You pick your vote. Choose what you want. This is again. The village of Dalton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties. Okay, then why y'all motion and second it then? Don't motion and second that. We had a discussion because we want the people to know why we're not. Because you would get up here and lie and be like, they don't want to buy the properties and they don't want to spend no money. So we motion and second, like we can do in Robert's Rules Order, and discussion. The discussion is we don't trust you to buy penny candy, and no, we're not buying no property. Don't snap. Y'all done already stole about 60 houses, so ain't nobody gonna deal with you buying no
60
property.
houses.
So that's the end of my discussion. I second that motion.
So there's a reason why I showed you this clip, because in the town of Dalton, a conflict has emerged between Mayor Tiffany Henyard and a local nonprofit organization, the American Association for Single Parents, led by Dr. Nicole Scott. Dr. Scott has invested in revitalizing a significant property in Dalton to create a community resource center. But her efforts have been stopped and slowed down by the mayor and her administration. We're going to provide a recap on this situation and provide more evidence that Henyard and her group are just incompetent and they have alternative motives. Dr. Nicole Scott is the founder and president of the American Association of Single Parents, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting single parents through various charitable, social, and educational programs. The organization operates a free grocery store called the Free Indeed Market, which provides groceries at no cost to those in need. Dr. Scott's vision includes transforming an 83,000 square foot strip mall on 142nd and King Drive. This center aims to offer numerous services to the community. Unfortunately, there were a lot of roadblocks. Despite Dr. Scott's efforts and the clear community need for these services, the efforts on the center has been stalled. It's been stalled by Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the village administrator, Keith Freeman.
Since we closed on the property in June of 2023, we have not been able to do that. We have had a meeting. I wrote a letter. We've made several attempts to really make this work. However, we're at a standstill.
They have denied essential permits and business licenses, so effectively stopping development. Dr. Scott has faced numerous obstacles, including fines for attempting to make repairs without permits, prohibition from placing necessary dumpsters for cleanup efforts, lack of response to requests for necessary permits and licenses.
Now, when he dives into this, he's going to give a few more details. And what you're going to notice is what Henyard and her cohorts have been doing. They've been making this little, almost this hamster wheel for Dr. Scott. And it's so messed up how they're doing it, because there was some flooding or something there, and there's some repairs that she needs to have done at that particular property. So in order to have the repairs done, quote unquote, she needs to have a permit. Well, Tiffany and cronies won't issue the permit because the inspection keeps listing items she needs for new construction. This isn't new construction, it's repairs. And then as you go on, you find out that the particular repairs that she's trying to conduct, they probably don't need a permit in the first place. So what Hannibal is unearthed is that it looks like there's some kind of scheme for Tiffany and Freeman and fellows to actually try, because if the property doesn't get up to code, then it can be obtained from up under Dr. Scott. And it seems like this is what the scheme is supposed to be.
Talk about some of the responses she has received from the administration. You will be surprised on how ridiculous and incompetent they are. But let's continue. Dr. Scott believes that the administration's resistance is rooted in a desire to take over the property themselves. She believes that the delays and refusals are a strategy to financially cripple her organization, forcing them to abandon the project, which will allow the administration to acquire the property. And that's why Dr. Scott has been calling for support from the community and beyond to pressure the administration into allowing the project to proceed. Dr. Scott emphasizes that the goal is not to create conflict, but to provide a much needed services and resources to the people in Dalton. So what does Mayor Tiffany Henyard respond is? Well, if you guys remember the one episode of the On the Move podcast, which is interesting, where's the second episode? The responses to the allegations made by Dr. Nicole Scott.
This has to do with you not taking care of your business. You. Starts with you. Can't blame nobody but yourself.
Whoa.
I need you to call the company that did your inspection and make it right. Go fix the building. Give them the plans and the things they need. Matter of fact, put that on the screen. Show the people what they told you needed to do, but you never showed that on the news. You never showed that on the news because it ends and starts with you.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard provided her own perspective on the situation, refuting the claims and presenting her side of the story. She accuses Dr. Scott of not fulfilling her business obligations and failing to comply with necessary regulations, which has led to denial of permits and licenses. According to Mayor Henyard, Dr. Scott has not submitted the required documentation and plans for the renovation and operations of her facility. The mayor emphasizes that without proper architectural plans and compliance with regulations, the village cannot issue the necessary permits. Then Mayor Henyard provides videos showing leaking ceilings, showing basically that it looks like Dr. Scott has not tried to do anything to fix the issue and not taking appropriate actions to comply with village regulations. And of course, the mayor insists that her door is always open for dialogue and cooperation.
And I pray that we all come to one common ground and fix our village and all get along for the betterment of Dalton. Because at the end of the day, the residents are the only ones that suffer.
Jeffrey Murphy at the house, everybody.
Battling.
Jeffrey Murphy.
So here's a letter that Dr. Scott received from the administration, and it just illustrates the level of incompetence from this administration. So you see the letter right here, and you'll notice right off the bat, this letter was sent in January. Dear Mr. Freeman. Who's Mr. Freeman? The person they're supposed to send the letter to is Dr. Nicole Scott. So it looks like this letter is altered. And the person who decided to alter the letter forgot to change the name from Dr. Scott to Mr. Freeman and kept Mr. Freeman. If you pause the Tiffany on the Move video podcast, you'll notice that she is using the same altered letter addressed to Dear Mr. Freeman.
Mr. Freeman.
You cannot make this up. Dear Mr. Freeman, as per your request, I reviewed the drawings submitted by the organization for the said mentioned address. These drawings do not meet necessary requirements for the effective plan review. At the minimum of the following items need to be submitted, and they have all these terms that need to be done. The problem is none of this makes any sense. Why? Because the list of requirements are for new construction. The problem is she attempted to get permits to do renovations and make repairs.
The U.S. Army finally solved the mosquito
construction. She even sent them an email letting them know that this is wrong. Dr. Scott's organization is submitting requests seeking permits to conduct repairs related to the recent flooding, as well as permits for renovations. She's been waiting for the Village of Dalton to issue permits to allow installation of drywall, taping, and patching. And apparently the last time they inspected the building, this is back in September 29th, they approved the close-up of the walls only to call her back later that night stating, quote, Dr. Scott, you cannot close up those walls.
What?
So nothing makes any sense. This is the kind of nonsense that we're dealing with here. Then about a month later, this is February 1st, they sent her, I guess, the correct letter with her name. It's supposed to be Dr. Scott, disrespectful. The village reviewed and basically the same thing, which does not make any sense. Copy and paste, looking to have permits to help repair and renovate the property, not build a whole new property. As you see here, if they cannot get the permits, they will get fined. $500 fine. What's the violation? Work without a permit. So they're trying to make things as difficult as possible because it looks like allegedly that Henyard and Freeman and their friends and associates want that property. They don't want it to provide services to people. They want it for profit, probably some kind of business that can make them more money because to them it's all about the money. Now,
we wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. If you think we're about to let you buy properties, I could care less. You pick your vote, choose what you want. This is again. The Village of Dalton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties.
Yo, the trustees that had enough, they letting her have it. Man, this is why I completely buy Hannibal's theory as to why they keep doing this circulars inspection stuff with Dr. Scott and that they're trying to obtain this property. Because Miss Henyard has had a history of fleecing the most vulnerable and the most needy in that town when it comes to property. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about this that she was involved in when she was still a trustee and wasn't even elected mayor yet, which is another reason why I don't know how she got elected, because this was on the news.
Mold, water leaks. Nearly 3 months ago, we first exposed serious problems in a South suburban rental home owned by a Dalton Village trustee.
Since then.
All right, quick. Patricia, thank you for stopping by. A happy 3-day weekend to you. Happy 3-day weekend to us all. It's going to go by fast, though, but we ain't going to marinate on that.
And the render says it's only gotten worse. CBS 2 political investigator Dana Kozloff has also learned that trustee is pocketing tens of thousands of your tax dollars for a house that's now unlivable.
Yo tax dollars.
You need to get your clothes out for school.
Jacqueline Smith and her 2 children called this hotel room home for almost a month.
Ever since the Dalton house they were renting from village trustee Tiffany Henyard was slapped with this.
Oh, hold on for a minute. Wait a minute.
Slapped with.
Wait a minute, y'all.
Renting from village trustee.
Yo, that's a whole lot different than what we see nowadays. That trustee picture look a whole lot different than when she got in them pockets and started fleecing the city, boy. That hair and makeup got sick. Anyway, sorry.
Tiffany Henyard was slapped with this.
Coming up on y'all,
big
boy.
red sign that I cannot live there because it's unlivable.
Unlivable mostly because of mold.
Almost.
Mold.
Even
Look at that.
on the bottom of the shoes is mold.
Mold that Smith's landlord, Trustee Henyard, pledged to immediately clean up after we first reported on the problem in August.
And that's where it started.
Smith says workers came and painted. The house even passed a village inspection. Issued.
Oh, what? It passed the inspection because she painted? Huh? Anybody that's a property owner knows you cannot get rid of mold by just painting it.
Abated, notes Inspector Brian Thigpen in this September report, except they weren't.
Yo.
It's horrible.
Enter activist David Lowry, who called Dalton directly. Suddenly, the house deemed livable on September 3rd became unfit for occupancy on October 15th. Lowry's theory?
Unfit.
The trustee used her power and influence.
We caught up with Henyard before last week's board meeting. I want to talk to you about that house on Dearborn. Can we do that?
My attorney's right here, so if you have any questions, I have legal counsel.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, whoa. Wait a minute. Just a second ago, you made your little video to Dr. Scott talking about it begins with her. The accountability is with her. So you need to go back to your inspection with her. What? Wait a minute. Why are you not saying that? Miss Henyard, you can speak to my attorney. Well, we want to speak to you because accountability starts with where? Yeah, that's what I thought.
You want me to talk to your attorney and not you. You can't tell me how that house failed an inspection in October when it just passed it beforehand.
If you have any questions, talk to my attorney.
Yeah, bye.
We did.
The inspection process is within control of the village, not of the trustee. She has been instructed
I'm on my
by
phone,
the
y'all.
village
I got
attorney to be
busy all of a
treated
sudden.
just like any other property owner.
Dalton's attorney says the house's inspection history is under investigation.
Yeah, sure it is. Like
and village records show a slew of past problems. With the house passing, then failing, then passing inspections for years.
Wait a minute.
Even before the housing authority could.
Wait a minute. How did it pass, fail? Wait a minute. What's going on? This is why Hannibal's theory does not seem far-fetched. She's used to manipulating those systems around there with these properties. Ridiculous. And what's thickening about it is that she's preying upon the most vulnerable. It's disgusting. Get her out of there.
The county approved it as a rental property eligible for government housing assistance money, or
taken
Section
everywhere.
8. An
Section
HACC employee says as
Tax
a landlord,
dollars.
Henyard's received $36,866 taxpayer dollars in Section 8.
Ladies, may we get a word? Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Filed against the house last year.
We're staying in a hotel, so.
All the while, Dalton taxpayers even helped foot the bill to keep Smith's family off the streets.
Of course they did.
We thought that
of course they did.
The village should be compassionate. She had nowhere to go. She had children.
I feel that, but
what we thought was to actually bill Trustee Henyard.
I learned this afternoon that Jacqueline Smith and her kids are now staying with a friend. The village is no longer paying for the hotel, and she doesn't have the money. I'm still waiting on a list of any citations Trustee Henyard received because of that house.
Miss Henyard, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the Super Mayor, the world's worst Monopoly player in real life. Do not play with her. You lose every time. Party people, thank y'all so very, 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 very much for being here on this fine Friday. We are done with this week. School is done, man. Let me tell y'all something. So happy I ain't got to get up and make breakfast and do drop off in the morning. So happy. Oh, almost vacation time. We got our 3-day weekend coming up, everybody. Yo, and again, everybody that came by, super duper 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 appreciate it. If you got any show ideas that you want to discuss on a late night tip, I am super open. Please hit me up on IG down there at the bottom of the screen at QTDub13, and I will definitely check them out. Leave any comments if you happen to check this out on the replay. I reply to all comments specific to your comment. I just don't put generic emojis and cool and stuff like that. I actually read your comments and reply to them accordingly. Yo, let me see what Shara said right quick. Thank Mike. You popped in with a comment right before I clicked Shara's. Thank you so much, man, Mike in Ohio. I appreciate you being here tonight, being one of the night owls, bro. You are appreciated, my guy. Let me see what did Shara say? She's the type who Shara, I'm about to ban you. I'm gonna cut your comments off because you be cracking me up and you cause distractions. I'm glad it's at the end of the stream because that's yes and no. She cannot be the banker. I guarantee in the younger years she was that player and she did that. But again, man, thank you so much for being here, Shara, as usual. Mike, Patricia, thank you very very much. The Murph Band. Jeffrey Murphy, and everybody else that stopped by. I super duper appreciate it. Y'all enjoy y'all's long weekend. I'm sure you all earned it. I will see you next time, which will probably be Monday night instead of Saturday because I'm going out of town. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Until next time, peace and stay informed.